UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Journey program on UBC TV.
Hello viewers, my name is Patricia Bagaina Ejalo and I'm the Deputy Executive Director at Uganda National Bureau of Standards. The Uganda National Bureau of Standards has been in existence for 35 years with the sole purpose of formulating standards, providing what is needed to keep our people safe here in Uganda. Our mandate in UNBS is the formulation of national standards, is the enforcement of those standards, to ensure that our health and safety is covered, to ensure that there is fair trade in Uganda, and to ensure that we do this without affecting our environment adversely. Our vision at UNBS is to ensure that we have safety and quality for life. We want to ensure that this is something that is available to all the people all the time. So the services that we give that are there to ensure safety and quality, that is our vision. Safe and quality services for all. We have a mission as well, and our mission is to provide standards, conformity assessment, and measurement services for quality of life in this country. It's a main thing. This is our service. This is what we do every day, and we are required to ensure that what we are doing is providing quality to our people so that whatever they are trading in is safe. The traders are happy, the consumers are happy. So basically what we do in Uganda, and with reference to the agribusiness sector, our aim here is really to ensure that whatever is being traded in the agribusiness sector is meeting standards. We have provided the food standards that are available that govern all the products that we eat in this country. We are an agricultural-based country, so food standards are very well catered for. And the manner in which we do this is that we sit in what we call technical committees that are formed of experts from all over Uganda who decide what is in those standards. So we aim to provide those standards. We also aim to provide what I've mentioned as conformity assessment. Basically, these are services like testing, certification, inspection. It is what we do that ensures whatever we are checking is meeting the quality standards. So we have been around for 35 years and we've been doing this in Uganda. We have grown. From when I first joined, which was in 1999, we were only about 70 people. Right now, UNBS has grown to over 500, and we continue to grow to be able to serve the country. So we are here to help people. How do we help the agribusiness sector? When we provide the standards, we need to make sure that they have the information about those standards. We do this in terms of stakeholder engagement. We do it in terms of our public relations and how we reach out to the different associations, people who are handling or trading in agribusiness. And our main aim is to get the information about the standards to them in a simple format that they can understand. We also have training activities here at UNBS, and we always encourage our members, please make use of these training activities. The more informed a person is in their business, the better they are at meeting the standards. We have some rules that govern the work that we are doing. We have a number of regulations, the certification regulations that govern how we give what everybody knows as the Q mark. When you see a product that has the Q mark, then you know that it has been certified by UNBS. And it means that product is meeting the requirements of the standards. We also have regulations that govern the market surveillance. We have to go into the market to make sure that the products in the market are meeting the standards. We cannot have people selling and affecting the health and safety of our consumers. We also have regulations that govern imports inspection. If you're going to regulate what is in country, that is made within Uganda, you also have to regulate what comes into Uganda. And we have to do this in a fair manner because Uganda is a signatory to the World Trade Organization agreements. There should be fairness between domestic and importation. And that fairness is the Uganda standard. So we have regulations that govern those activities. We also have regulations that govern the legal metrology activities that we carry out. And people in the agribusiness sector need to be aware we have pre-packaged requirements. If you're going to pack your product in a specific amount, it must meet that requirement. If you're saying 1 kilogram, it has to be 1 kilogram. So we have regulations that govern the pre-packaged requirements for products that are in the agribusiness. So a lot of these regulations are available on our website, and I always encourage people, please, it is important that you are informed about what you legally have to meet. We have obviously some programs that encourage our members to participate and to partner with us. We have, as I mentioned a little bit briefly earlier, simplification of standards. We have partnered with a number of our development partners who have facilitated the simplification of the existing Uganda standard. For example, we have standards of hygiene. If you are in the food business, from whichever part of the value chain, you ought to know that hygiene is important. So we've simplified the requirements of the food and hygiene standard and produced pamphlets that are simple, pictorial, easy to understand. And we have shared this with a number of associations, and these are available to anybody who is interested. We have also started the Digital Conformity Mark. This is a program that we are now moving from paying us a lump sum for your certification. We are doing it per unit, which means it brings the price down, especially for the small and micro players. It means the cost of certification is a lot easier for them. And now they are paying based on what they produce. So the Digital Conformity Mark is a program that is going to facilitate very much members who are in the agribusiness sector. And we're also partnering with a number of other associations. We have a partnership right now with the Private Sector Foundation Uganda, the GROW project, which is supporting women who are small and micro producers. A lot of them are in the agribusiness. They are making food, they are making cosmetics, and all of this is based on raw materials. So this project is facilitating all the services that they get from us. They will be paid for by government. So we have a number of those arrangements, and we always welcome anyone who is interested. Please come and talk to us, and we'll be able to guide accordingly. Our services also help people to trade beyond Uganda. We offer what we call management system certification. Now, this goes beyond the product certification that we are all very familiar with, that ends with the Q mark. We go deeply into the system, the process of what somebody is doing, and we follow international standards. We are accredited to offer this certification. So when you get certification from us for ISO 9001, which is a quality management systems, or ISO 22000, which is food safety management systems, this certification is recognized internationally. And we offer that to those who are interested in trading beyond Uganda, beyond Africa, actually. The benefits that members get in working with us is that, number one, they get to understand what it means to apply standards in their work. They get to appreciate why they need to do what they are doing. Because we want people we are working with to understand that you're not doing this work primarily for UNBS. You're doing this to ensure that your business remains relevant. And I'm sorry to say, business doesn't start with money. It starts with the service that you are giving people. Do they need what you have? Now, if they get what you are producing, they like it and keep coming, that's where the money is. So the standards help our people to learn how to make a product safely, how to use their resources efficiently, how to ensure that they are comfortable with what they are doing. By the time they sell that product out there, they are the ones who are confident that their product is good. So they benefit by getting access to the domestic market here in Uganda, to the regional market, because we have mutual agreements within the East African region. All the bureaus of standards, we have agreed to accept each other's certification mark. So if you get the Q mark from UNBS, that gives you access to all the regional markets without inspection. So they will gladly take your product because they know that you have gone through UNBS, and we all have similar processes. So how do we want to help our people compete in future? We need to ensure that the quantity of safe products grows in Uganda. If we're going to sustain an export market, then we must make sure that the domestic, the availability of products meeting standards at the domestic level grows. You will not be able to sustain export when you don't have enough at home. So we need to make sure that more people get on board and get their products certified. Once we're able to feed Uganda with what we are making, the excess can be able to go outside without a problem, because now you'll have the quality available and the quantity as well. So we are seeing a role in facilitating export promotion by making sure the domestic market is available, because this has been the biggest challenge. People may meet the mark one day, but they get defeated by the quantity. So you're able to serve one contract, you can't do another one because there is not enough. So we are seeing the future really by helping in the export promotion, by helping with the import substitution. There are things that we should not be importing into this country. We are an agricultural-based country. Agribusiness is where we need to put our focus. We ought to be feeding our people and feeding others. And Uganda is capable of doing it. So we need to really look at that. As we are promoting export, we need to make sure we are also replacing what we have been importing that does not need to be imported into this country. So getting in touch with us is very basic. We are living in a very digital world these days. And so we have a lot of ways that people can reach us. First of all, other than our main office here in Bweyogerere, we have regional offices in Mbale, in Mbarara, and in Gulu. Now, these regional offices offer certification and testing services, and we also have market surveillance and legal metrology. Now, it costs quite a bit to set up a UNBS regional office. So for now, those are the ones we have that can also do the testing. So the whole northern region can go to Gulu, the whole western region can get services from Mbarara, and the eastern region can get from Mbale. But we are also online. You don't have to come all the way to UNBS to get certification. Our certification system is an online system. You can be in West Nile. As long as you have internet, you will apply. We shall come, assess you, collect samples, test, and give you your permit without you leaving West Nile. So online systems work very well for us, and we have partnered very much with a number of associations who can actually help those who don't know how to use online systems. The government of Uganda has really invested in the quality infrastructure in Uganda, and a lot of that is under UNBS. We arguably have the best labs in Uganda that can do a lot of testing. So we want people to understand what it means by making sure that they purchase products that have been certified by UNBS. We want people to be confident, because the quality of the product, you see, when you buy a product that has been certified by UNBS, you know that UNBS has interacted with these people. On top of that, if anything goes wrong, because UNBS has interacted with these people, we are actually able to follow up whenever there has been a challenge. So you get redress. You see, it's not a closed loop. We buy a lot of imported products, but we can't do anything about them if something goes wrong. The person who made them is very far away. Okay? So we, as UNBS, are looking at people to understand that a lot of effort has gone into providing these services. We need people to please look out for them, and feel free to make comments about the products that you buy in Uganda that have that Q mark. We are looking forward to hearing that feedback. The people who produce welcome feedback from those who use their products. They are right here in Uganda. We shouldn't fear. In fact, before they come to us, they ought to have communicated to the person who made that product if they found a problem with it. So we are in the business of trying to build trust in the produce and products that have been made in Uganda. Uganda is arguably a country that is able of not just feeding the whole region where we are in, the eastern region, East African region. We can actually feed Africa. In certain products, we are capable of doing it, but we must meet the standards. We must go through what is needed for us to ensure that we are producing quality products. So we're looking at our fellow Ugandans. Get interested in your own product. We are the people to critique our own people, to force them to start doing better. We cannot continue to rely on imported products. So we're looking forward to building that kind of trust, to assure people that when a product has been certified by UNBS, rest assured we have done the work required to keep our people safe. Of course, as any government institution, we have a number of challenges. The highest, of course, being getting the budgetary support that we need to be able to do this work. Now, that will always be a cry for us. But in the meantime, we've tried to come up with different ways to keep things going. We partner with private sector. Right now, we have even recognized private labs that do the work like us or better, so that we can expand the scope of testing. What are we doing? We are saying this is not the work for UNBS alone. We are open and willing to partnering with those who are able to invest in this sector so that we can recognize them. It is not just a walk in the park. We have to be assured they can do the work the way we expect them to do, following international standards. And then we provide them with access so that people can come and get testing from other labs other than UNBS. So that's part of what we are doing. You know, how can we open up and work together with private sector to make this a possibility? We are definitely, as I mentioned, we are 540 people right now looking after 47 million people. The numbers don't tally. So we are greatly challenged when it comes to human resources. Right now, on average, it takes you 4.5 months to get certification from us, from the time you apply to the time you get the permit. And a big portion of that time, the first 2 months, you've applied, but you're waiting for us to come. If you entered our system now and I showed you the log, the schedule, if you apply today, we are coming to see you in July because it is full every day. The demand for our services is much higher than the resource capacity we have. So we are able to do as much as we can, but it takes long because of the limited resources that we have. So that's a big challenge. And then again, a lot of what we're doing is science-based. And so we are obliged to keep in tune with the speed of technology and how it is changing. So in some instances, technology can move a little bit faster than us, and we are playing a catch-up game. So that's partly, that's a challenge for us, but in the science world, we must keep track of what's going on and see how best we can manage within what is available here in Uganda. We have to enforce what is in that market, okay? And it's important that consumers begin to demand for quality. You can no longer just buy something for the sake of buying it. When you go to buy water today, nobody's going to buy water that does not have the Q mark. That's a big deal. Why would you even do that? So when we are buying pesticides, who has checked it? This is the thing. As consumers, we must demand who is regulating this and can it be done? So we know there's regulation under the Ministry of Agriculture, and the Ministry of Agriculture has to be supported to do this work. The value chain is big. We know when we talk value chain, we have to talk about farmers, everybody, the producers, the transporters, the stores, anyone adding value, everything until the end. Now, it is not UNBS alone that is the only regulator. We are in this with our colleagues in Ministry of Agriculture. So if you support one and not the other one, the value chain is not closed. So this is the reality. We must have enforcement supported by government. And I must request consumers, demand for quality. The reason why some of the first world countries are always, their consumers are well informed. And it is the consumer who demands, I will not have this. So our consumer needs to be knowledgeable as well. Part of the issue is, yes, there's a problem with how the fake pesticide is coming, but there's also a problem with looking for cheap things. So can we regulate that sector? We as government need to do our bit, but the consumer also has to learn to ask for the right thing. To government, the appeal that I have is we need to put funding where we are interested in. I understand that funds are limited, but if we want to really build on export promotion in agribusiness, then we must put enforcement there. We have privatized as a country. Now, privatization means business is done by the private people in the simplest of terms, but that means government must regulate to put the private sector in check. If we don't regulate, then the market is unfair. Products that are meeting requirements and products that are not meeting requirements are in the same market, and the consumer is confused. So enforcement is key, and government needs to support that. For the consumers, I'm asking for consumers to become interested in what they ought to know. It's not always, it's hard for UNBS as an institution to be with everybody at all times. We need a curious consumer who is looking for information and wants to know what is available and what should I do to make the right decision. So we are asking our consumers, become interested. Ask for quality, seek for it. How do you know something is safe? Just like if I give you guidance about milled flour, as long as you have the Q mark on a milled product, then you know where to go. The product has been looked at by UNBS and it is safe. If there is a problem, you still have somewhere to go. So let us get interested in buying what has been checked. Don't just buy something for the sake of paying little money. We need to spend a little bit to get something good to prevent spending a lot when the diseases come and we can't afford to heal ourselves. Of course, as UNBS, our number one thanks goes to the government of Uganda, because as much as we may not have got what we need, we have gotten what has been given to us to enable us to do the work that we have done all these 35 years. We have partners that we have worked with, and I must mention a few. PSFU, which has more or less become the peak private sector institution, bringing all the others together. We have partnered with them in helping a number of MSMEs, especially recovering from COVID, and now we are going into another project to help support the women. So we do have a lot of people that we say thank you to in the sector, in the government sector and in private sector. We also want to thank the media, and in particular UBC that is here today, for this kind of time that you give us to be able to talk to people so that they can relate with us, understand who we are. We also get to know who they are, and they're free to know that we are an institution that is open for anybody to come and ask for whatever information they need. So I also want to thank the staff of UNBS. The staff of UNBS work extremely hard in very difficult circumstances. So we want to ask people to, yes, appreciate the team that is working in a very hard way. They are committed to doing the work that they are doing. So thank you very much for making the time to be here. And I also want to thank the Agribusiness Forum. They are the ones who've reached out to us. They have supported the work of simplification of standards. They're even doing some of it themselves, which is wonderful. They are very interested in making sure that the people in the agribusiness sector understand what it means to implement standards. I cannot ask for anything better than that. So UNBS is in Bweyogerere. We are in the industrial park in Bweyogerere. You can't miss it. Standards House, but all our contacts are available on the website. We do have a toll-free line, which is 0800-133-133. We have our website, www.unbs.go.ug, which has a lot of information. And that's why I always ask people, be curious. Get in there and learn many things. And on the website, you'll be able to see our social media presence, how you can interact with us on a daily basis. So I want to thank all the viewers who have been watching and have listened to what we have to say about UNBS. Thank you for participating in this story we've given of the journey of UNBS these last 35 years and our relationship to the agribusiness sector. We're asking everybody, please, let's take quality and safety as part of our daily lives. That's what we are here for as UNBS, and we look forward to being of service to all the people in Uganda, for God and my country.